One shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment. Did you capture it? Just let it slip. Yo.
Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Vose, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live this morning with Profit Time from Louisville, Kentucky. Cloudy, cold day here in Louisville, but that's okay. We're looking down on grass, man, so we're beating a lot of them. And, hey, that's all we can ask for is the opportunity. One chance, one opportunity. You going to take it, or are you going to let it slip away? As we get into our show today, man, I am excited. Appreciate you guys being here with me. Appreciate you new guys being here with me. I know I got a few emails last couple days about, hey, man, I like your show, listening to your show now. Heard about you on Field Routes. I listened to your webinar on Field Routes the other day, man. I appreciate you guys listening. Hope you're tuned in. If not, you can always check us on a podcast as you come back. So, hey, appreciate that for sure. But, hey, it's Friday, and you guys know what Friday brings around here on Turfs Up Radio. It's Truth Bomb Friday, and I think I got a good one. I think I got something you're going to like. Of course I like it. Heck, you know, I wouldn't bring it up as a truth bomb if I didn't like it, you know. That's just the reality of it. But, hey, I think you're going to like it, and that's all that really matters. It's not that I like it. It's that you like it. Because if you don't like it, you're going to turn Profit Time off, man, and I don't want you to turn Profit Time off. I want you to share it with your friends because, you know, it is my goal each and every day that I'm here, and that is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m., as you guys know. Hey, is to give you something to help your business be a little better than it was the day before. Take that one chance, that one opportunity, because too many times we just let them slip away. You know, there's an acronym. You know, and this just popped into my mind, but I see it regularly because guess what? It's taped right on my desk. It really is. It's taped right on my desk. And it says, poor. We talk about being poor. We talk about not having enough profit. We talk about not having enough cash flow. We talk about, you know, hey, I'm going to get out of the business, and that's actually something we're going to talk about today is a lot of contractors that are maybe taking that path. And why, hey, if that's the best path for you, then certainly do that. But the question is why? Why? You know, if it's strictly because of a cash management problem or a cash flow problem, that's something that maybe you can fix, and we're going to talk about that today. That, you know, times are tough, so I'm not, and they're going to get worse. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or a Donnie Downer or a they Downer. You know, I don't want to be whatever it is. As you guys can tell, I'm on a road today, man. That Java's got me jacked up. Had a beekeeper with oat milk this morning, man, and it's got me rocking and rolling. So, hey, we're going to have a great day. Hopefully you had a chance to listen to my good friend Eric Jones this morning on Keeping Up with Mr. Jones. He had a great show. Eric was saying, man, he has got a 10-hour presentation tomorrow, man. I'm just here to tell you, dudes, 10 hours of brain time is a lot of time. So, hey, Eric, I know you got this, man, without a problem. You're under control. You do it all the time. You know, we do it, you know, but, hey, That's gonna be a heck of an opportunity for you guys that are going to that tomorrow, where he's, you know, getting all those CEUs for you guys, and it's a pretty cool idea, man. He says he likes to do it for guys so they can, you know, get what they need in a year in one time in those CEUs. So, hey, if you're not registered, I don't know if you need to register or not. I'm talking out of school a little bit, but hit Eric Jones up. Hit Eric Jones up if you need some CEUs and. You're in North Carolina, I guess, right, Eric? Gosh. And, you know, I don't even know where you're going to be, and I'm trying to help promote you tomorrow, and you probably got a sold-out class anyway. So, but anyways, hey, Eric's got a big day tomorrow. He says he's ready, though. Said he's got his Velcro New Balances ready. I really think he was just funning me. I think he was just really making a little bit of fun of Wayne the Prophet. with that when I shot him that text about that, but that's okay. There's nothing better than Velcro tennis shoes. You know, hey, man, they're easy to get on. You ain't got to worry about tying your shoes. No, I'm teasing. I have not resorted to Velcro tennis shoes yet. So hopefully that's at least 20 years down the road or so. If I make it that long, who knows? Hey, none of us know, you know. None of us know when we're checking out. None of us know when we're checking in. It's all part of the master plan. But you know, the reality is, you know, hey, I appreciate that text. Poor man has poor ways. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that memory back to me there, Ben. It slipped my mind. I forgot to talk about that, the acronym of POUR. But, you know, it's basic. And I really, any of you guys come to Louisville next time, you know, you come for a show or whatever, stop by, say hi to us. But, you know, the reality of it, good morning, Mike. Appreciate you listening this morning, my friend. But I keep that on my desk right now. And if I could show you in a picture, I'd show you it's there. I'm not BSing you guys. I've got POUR. And underneath POUR, the P says passing. What do you think of that? Passing. The first O is on. The next O, opportunity. And the R is regularly. Passing on opportunity regularly. You know, if you want that to be the main takeaway from the show today, that's cool. Write that down and put that on your desk. You know, Aaron, appreciate you listening while you're working. Aaron had a little story this morning he shared with us on Turfs Up Radio on Eric's show, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, if that's all right with you. Aaron, let me know if it's okay if we talk about that, man, because I'd really like to talk about it for a minute. Because it's important to you, it's important to me, it's important to a lot of us, I'm sure. So, but, you know, if we had one chance, one opportunity, you going to take it, or are you just going to let it slip away? Eric, like I said, had a great show this morning on Keeping Up with Mr. Jones. He was talking about subcontractors and how many guys try to pay people as a subcontractor because they think they're beating the system. But really all that's going to happen is, man, when you get caught, it'd be like the old Cop when they used to be able to run that show Cops, before it just offended way too many people when that show used to be on. But, you're going to get caught. When you get caught, you've been busted. The reality of it is just do things the right way. Just do things the right way. We as an industry, we as a society spend a hell of a lot of time trying to figure out ways to circumvent the system versus just doing it the right way and moving along. Maybe cheating the system works as you're a smaller company, but, you develop bad habits. And bad habits, are hard to break. That's the reality of that. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, I'm going to read this text a minute. Yeah, Wayne, you're good to talk about it. I learned if I should have double-checked with him before last night. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. And Aaron, I don't want you to throw yourself under the bus on that. We're not going to talk about that yet, but when we do, my friend, maybe some of it was on you, but the rest of it wasn't. So that's the reality of that. But, got to be careful. But getting back to just what Eric's show was, man, if you guys didn't have a chance to listen to him this morning, check his podcast out, Keeping Up with Mr. Jones. It was great on subcontractors, or the part I listened to was, and I didn't catch his whole show, but from about 7:30 or 7:20 on, I did. So it was a great show today, Eric. All of his shows are always great, man. All of our contributors here on Turfs Up Radio, we absolutely do our best to try to give you guys great content each day to take away and implement within your business. And what I count on, I don't know about everybody else, okay, because I'm not going to speak for everybody else. Be like Judge Judy. Don't tell me what somebody else was thinking, But so what I count on, meaning Wayne Vos, Wayne's Lawn Service, I count on your all's input. I appreciate your all's text that you send me when we talk about things, on things that hey, this is how I do it. This is how I would do it. This is what's worked for me, because I get to take some of your knowledge and implement it into my company. And that's when it becomes a win-win for everybody, is when we can all learn something. And what I've learned, and I'll say it again now, you guys have heard me say it, and you'll hear me say it 1,693,240 more times probably. But the reality of it is we can all learn from each other, but we just got to be open-minded. We got to be open-minded enough to listen. And listen, because we got two ears and one mouth. And my daddy used to tell me all the time, and this isn't anything profound, it's just from a sales guy's perspective, you got to listen at least twice as much as you talk, or God wouldn't have given you two ears and one mouth. So that's why I listen to you guys, because you guys give me some good information that helps my company be more successful, more profitable as well. So anyways, Heckabus had a great show too. He's always great. And I'm looking forward to his show tonight at 8. He pulls double duty every day, at least double duty, here on Turfs Up Radio. Darren was on his show briefly this morning talking about some new software he's implemented with his company, and he loves it. So check that out if you didn't have a chance to listen to that. And Daniel with his Fun Fact Friday show on the Pump Station. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I was listening to Daniel while I was putting a seminar together, actually, over here, an upcoming webinar I'm doing. And I just found it incredible when he said people in Switzerland eat 20 pounds of chocolate a year per capita. I mean, that's unreal, man. I mean, I like to eat, but I just don't know that I come anywhere close to 20. I don't know. I can't even visualize 20 pounds of chocolate. Now, I know somebody that could. Visualize 20 pounds of chocolate, and that'd be my older brother, John, because he had a bad experience with chocolate. And, I'm going to share that experience with you. John, if you're listening to me, man, you're probably working, but hey, if you're hearing, man, I got to share this story on you. This goes back to, I believe it was 1977. The year it happened doesn't matter, but he went to boot camp in the Marine Corps, and it was during Easter. And my mom got this great idea. Mom's always trying to help their kids out, right? And she got this great idea that she was going to send him a solid chocolate Easter bunny down there. But she didn't want to, just send him something. She wanted to send enough for him to share, so she sent a 3-pound solid chocolate rabbit to Parris Island, South Carolina, where he was doing his boot camp. And when he came home, he said that was the worst mistake that she'd ever made. Because when it got there, he got the opportunity not to share it, but to eat it all at one time. So I share that story with you. So John probably understands what 20 pounds of chocolate would be like after eating that 3-pound solid chocolate rabbit at one time. And I can honestly say since 1977, I don't know that I've ever seen him eat chocolate since. So the only other thing I know that came close to eating, not 3 pounds, but probably at least a half-pound chocolate was my dog. Old Lacey got into one of, I think it was Katie's Easter basket one year, and got into her Easter basket and ate a solid chocolate rabbit. They say dogs aren't supposed to eat chocolate. I wish somebody would tell dogs that, because my dog she got into that chocolate, didn't get sick, and was still rooting for more. So, I know everybody says, oh my God, dogs aren't supposed to eat chocolate. It'll kill them or it'll hurt them or make them sick. Man, it didn't do anything to that dog, Lacey, for sure. She just, she was a chocolate fiend. So, anyways, hey, I have went way, way past telling stories this morning. I got to get into my show, Profit Time. We're going to take a short break. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. We'll be right back. And don't go anywhere unless you go get a piece of chocolate.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, Or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
Playing the best music.
Hands down and dirty. Turfs Up Radio.
Turfs Up Radio.
Turfs Up Radio.
Turfs Up Radio. Turfs Up Radio. Turfs Up.
Turfs Up Radio. Your industry, your station.
Attention all veterans. Have you heard about Turfs Up Radio's Jobs for Vets program? If you are looking for a job and you're interested in working in the landscape and snow removal profession, there just might be a company in your local area that is looking to hire. All you have to do is send us your resume at jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. That's jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy-efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
Isn't it nice when the weather cooperates and crews complete jobs on time and on budget? But weather can cause delays, and with paper route sheets, jobs get lost in the shuffle. That's why you need Aspire Crew Control scheduling software, an easy-to-use, flexible, and affordable solution that allows you to shift schedules with a single click. Try Aspire Crew Control for free at aspirecrewcontrol.com.
Absolutely. AspireCrewControl.com. Check it out. Simplify your processes.
Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Weekend Review.
The Weekend Review.
Join King Darren and all of your favorite Turfs Up Radio hosts, including Heculus, Eric, the Turf Teacher Jones, Ryan Lee, Wayne, the Prophet Bowles,
One opportunity.
his son Daniel, LaFord, the Green Veteran, and many more. Join us live as we unpack the week and share what you may have missed live on Turfs Up Radio. That's the Weekend Review, Saturdays, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Yeah! Oh, yeah. Can you all believe tomorrow is the day? Tomorrow is the day. Weekend Review. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do on Saturday morning. Set your timer now to join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Hey, before we get into Profit Time, we were talking a little bit about chocolate there. Thought we'd play a little song here. Thought you guys might like as we get thinking about a little junk food.
On down to the health food store.
Daniel, don't listen to this.
I only eat good sea salt, white sugar don't touch my lips. And my friends is always begging me to take them on macrobiotic trips. Yes, they are. Oh, but night I take out my strong box that I keep under lock and key. And I take it off to my closet where nobody else can see. I open that door so slowly, take a peek up north and south. Then I pull out a Hostess Twinkie and I pop it in my mouth. Yeah, in the daytime I'm Mr. Natural, just as healthy as I can be. But at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me. Well, at lunchtime you can always find me at the Whole Earth Vitamin Bar, just sucking on my plain white yogurt from a hand-thrown pottery jar. And sipping little hand-pressed cider with a carrot stick for dessert. And wiping my face in a natural way on the sleeve of my peasant shirt. Oh, yeah. But when that clock strikes midnight and I'm all by myself, I work at Combination on my secret hideaway shelf. And I pull out some Fritos corn chips, Dr. Pepper, and a old moon pie. Then I sit back in glorious expectation of a genuine junk food high. Then the next time I'm Mr. Natural. me. Oh, but at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me. All right. My friends down at the commune, they think I'm pretty neat. Oh, I don't know nothing about arts and crafts, but I give them all something to eat. I'm a friend to old Yule Gibbons, and I only eat homegrown spice. I got a John Keats autographed Grecian urn filled up with my brown rice. Yes, I do. Oh, folks, but lately I have been spotted with a Big Mac on my breath, stumbling into a Colonel Sanders with a face as white as death. I'm afraid someday they'll find me just stretched out on my bed with a handful of Pringles potato chips and a ding-dong by my head. In the daytime I'm Mr. Natural, just as healthy as I can be. But at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me.
All right. Hopefully nobody's a junk food junkie, but hey, sometimes we sneak it in there. But we won't tell Daniel about that. Actually, yeah, we should tell Daniel about that, you know. Tell yourself about it so you want to tell about it, you know, because I think sometimes we do kind of sneak in there and get some junk food, you know. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that. We'll let Daniel talk about that on the pump station. Check him out every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Turfs Up Radio, trying to help us do the little changes, as he says. You know, that's the same as, you know, working within, you know, our businesses. If we just do the little things, just make a small change that's going to help your business. Doesn't have to be a big thing, because big changes are hard. You know, if you think, man, I'm going to change my business completely and I'm going to do this, and you set those too many hard goals out there that are not achievable, then, you know, it's like going on a diet that you don't stay with. You know, it's not about going on a diet. It's about changing eating habits. In your business, it's about changing efficiencies and work habits and implementing things within your business that can help you be more successful, more profitable. It's the little things. And speaking about being more successful, more profitable, I just wanted to give a big shout out to my friends at Field Routes #1 for sponsoring our webinar that we had this past Tuesday. A lot of you guys sat in on it. I appreciate you guys listening and the feedback that you guys sent us. But it was great. We talked about bidding and contracts, and I appreciate those guys sponsoring that because, you know, they're concerned about your success and profitability. And I know we had quite a few contractors in on that. And then Wednesday, we also had a seminar in Evansville, Indiana, sponsored by Scotty's Lawn Equipment and their team down there. They're always great, Rick and Vicky and Drew and Katie. And I mean, the list goes on. And they had 120 plus contractors I know that I spoke with. We talked about getting back to the basics and how important it is. And, you know, it's nice when, you know, you have an opportunity like I did this week to talk to so many different contractors, probably over 200 total just in a week, about guys that want to make their business different and better by changing just some little things. Are you willing to make some little changes along the way? That's the question. You know, we don't have to quit. We don't have to quit. And that's what we're going to talk about today with my Truth Bomb. My Truth Bomb Friday is don't quit because times are getting hard. You don't have to quit. You know, saw a thing on social media the other day. You know, a guy says, hey, I'm finally giving it up. You know, after X number of years, he said, I'm just tired of the battle. And I can understand that. Honest to God, I can understand the mindset because it is the struggle that we go through. But I think before you decide to throw the towel in and say, man, I'm going to quit, this is too hard, let's look at what we can do to change this truth bomb from quitting. Have you given it an ample opportunity to succeed? Or have you been doing it the same way that everybody else is doing it? And when I say doing it, running your business the same way. Because what I see all the time, and it doesn't matter if I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, or Evansville, Indiana, Detroit, Michigan, it doesn't matter where I'm at. Salt Lake City, Utah, Dallas, Texas, it doesn't matter. You name your location, name your market. It doesn't matter where you're at. Sometimes we just don't give ourselves an opportunity to be successful. If you had one chance, one opportunity, would you take it? Or are you just going to let it slip away? I think I just got a good text. Absolutely, Mike. Mike just sent me a text in, and I agree 110%. He says he'd be willing to bet if everybody changed to utilizing a service agreement, it'd fix half the battles. It did for me. Absolutely, Mike. I agree 110%. 120%. I agree 100%. Let's just stick it at 100 because it doesn't get any better than 100%. Absolutely. That's something, we can talk about is how do we go about implementing service agreements? Because too many times we don't give our chance to be successful because we want to do it like everybody else is doing it. I'm not saying at some point for some of us, maybe throwing the towel in is the best option because you know what? I say it, and I say it with all due respect to each and every person and each and every business owner. Not everybody is cut out to be a business owner. And just because, hey, if you try it and it don't work and you've tried everything that you think you've tried and it still didn't work and you're just tired of the battle, I can understand that. But if you really think that, hey, man, I am cut out to be a business owner, I just need better methodologies and I need a better plan. I need a better plan in place. Then give yourself that opportunity with a better plan in place. Because, we've all been through, if you've been in business any length of time, 10 years or longer, let's say, you've seen some cyclical things happen within the economy, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bad, the ugly. And the longer you've been in business, the more of that you've seen. But I think what we got to do is ask ourselves, have we really given ourselves a chance to succeed, to be successful? And what I mean by that is, we just got to look at what needs to go first. What are some things we need to put first? I think first and foremost, and we spoke about this in the webinar with Field Routes the other day and down at Scotty's there in Evansville with those contractors, the first and most important thing we can all do is understand the purpose of our business. You've got to understand what the purpose of your business is. And the purpose of any business, regardless of what it is, and I'll debate this with anybody till I'm blue in the face, the purpose is to make a profit. That's the only reason you should be in business. And if you're not in business to make a profit, we all think we are. Hey, for 9 years, my first 9 years, I thought I understood the purpose. But what I really understood was I was trying to do it like everybody else. That's what was really going on. Let's see. We're going to decline this call. I don't know who it is. It's not saying spam, but hey, we don't know who it is. So, and it's coming in as a Louisville number, so we'll see. Maybe they'll call us back, but if they don't, that's okay. I'll call them back afterwards if they leave me a message. But, the reality of it is we just got to put first things first, and the first thing we do is understand our cost. Do you know why you charge what you charge? Don't base it on what anybody else is doing. Because that's what gets us all in trouble. And it seems like we talk about that a lot here on my show, Profit Time. But the reality of it is that's where most of us go wrong. You've got to know your cost. And, especially, I say especially this year, but this year is really no different than any other year. It's really not. What's making this year special, quote unquote, just in my opinion, is the fact that everybody, each and every business owner out there, regardless of what you're in, we're seeing significant increasing in price on everything just about. So we're all more aware of our cost per hour of operation than we have been in the past, maybe. You know, for the companies that have always looked at it, okay, well, yeah, we're just looking at it at a bigger number now. But a lot of people, a lot of business owners, you know, we're very resistant to raise prices in general. You guys know it. I'm not telling you anything new, you know. And it's almost like we get apologetic to our customers when we got to raise a price. And that, you know, you don't have to do that. Don't get apologetic. You know, your customers know everything's gone up. Everything's gone up. Don't waste the time writing a 4-page letter to Miss Smith or ABC Company thinking of, God, what kind of letter can I put together that's going to help them understand why I got to charge more this year? Don't waste your time with that letter. You don't need that letter. Does the grocery store send you a letter? You know, does your place where you get your fuel have a letter of explanation on the fuel pump when you pull up saying, hey, I'm really sorry, but due to cost, our fuels went up again? No. But we as an industry, we think we got to come up with this magical letter to send customers. We stopped sending out magical letters to customers a lot of years ago because we found there was no difference between phone calls or cancellations on people that we sent a letter to versus people that we didn't send a letter to. But what we had to be willing to do was see what happens when we don't send that letter. Just send your customers a notification. It can be a letter saying, hey, we're going to start our service the week of March 15th or April 15th or whenever you start your service, whatever it is, whenever it is in your market. And this is going to be the current pricing for this year. Hey, we'll see you then. If you have any questions, call us. Because I think what you're going to find out is you're going to have most customers are good with it if you've got the right clientele. Now, if you're dealing with a whole bunch of people on fixed incomes or in a demographic of people that need your work and don't just want your work, then that's going to be a little more problematic for you, for sure. And to Mike's point, utilization of a service contract is key. We got to have a methodology to control the cash flow. But the reality is, know your cost, calculate those costs, because what I've seen just in January and February and talking with different contractors across the country with our coaching and whatnot and our seminars and our webinars and just fielding emails from you guys here on Turfs Up as well, we want to be too apologetic about the knowing that we need to raise our pricing. If you feel better putting together a letter, then by all means put together a letter. You know, I always say there's a lot of things that, you know, are not black and white. That can go, yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with, do it. This is one of them. If you feel good putting a letter together to explain why you have to have a 15% price increase or 30% price increase or 5% or 100%, whatever it is you're doing, doesn't matter, the percentage. But what matters is that you know what the increase has got to be. Because what I'm hearing quite a bit of is guys are saying, man, I've raised my prices 15%, or I've raised my price 20%. Well, that's good if that's what it takes. But ask yourself this question. Do you know that 15 or 20, I was going to say 20 cents. Wouldn't that be easy? Do you know that 15 or 20% is the right number that you need to go up? Or are you just raising 15 or 20% off of a number that you were guessing at, last year, in the year before, Because just because you're implementing a 15 or 20% increase, it might sound good to you. And thinking, okay, man, that's all they can take. It's, if I do any more, I'm going to lose all my customers. I'm going to lose all my customers if I do any more. Really? We're going to talk about that, but we're going to take a short break. And when we come back off that break, we're going to talk about that concept of I'm going to lose all my customers. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. We'll be right back with more Profit Time.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
There's more to landscape lighting than just throwing a fixture under a tree. The best display is one that was not only designed well, but also stands the test of time. High-quality fixtures and bulbs are key to long-term success and customer happiness. At Emery Allen, our focus is on creating only the highest performance landscape bulbs in the industry, with long-lasting components that don't degrade or flicker with age. Each bulb's appearance is always consistent throughout your lighting project. We offer a wide range of base types, beam spreads, and color choices that will fit your needs. To learn more, give us a call at 843-480-4473 or email us at info@emeryallen.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turfs Up Radio. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Fed up with your current software solution? FieldRoutes is the cloud-based software technology you need to level up your lawn care business. From routing to scheduling, collections, marketing, reporting, and more. It's the all-in-one solution that automates, not complicates. FieldRoutes helps lawn care companies simplify, scale, and grow. Schedule your free demo today by visiting fieldroutes.com. That's fieldroutes.com.
Check it out, fieldroutes.com. Simplify all of your processes with their product. Take that demo. We all get 24 hours a day. How you decide to make those 24 hours more efficient within your business is what's going to separate the winners and the losers. Just that simple. And I don't think any of us are losers here on Turfs Up Radio by any stretch of the imagination. But what we have to do is ask ourselves, what can we do more efficient than our competitors doing? Check out fieldroutes.com to help you become more efficient and better at what you're doing.
For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy-efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Source Lighting, a new division by Cast, is your source for professional grand landscape lighting made of durable brass, offering both integrated and drop-in LED technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turfs Up Radio. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hi, we're Big and Rich.
And I'm Cowboy Troy.
And you're listening to Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. Bring it up.
Absolutely. Crank it up. Crank it up because we're on Profit Time. Truth Bomb Friday. As we're talking about don't quit and why the reasons are we shouldn't quit. Or don't throw in the towel yet. Have you tried? Have you really tried to make the changes that you can make so you can stay in the game? We don't have to, hey, man, the game's not over. And certainly your business isn't a game. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, let's look at the Vince Lombardi side of it for a second. The old Green Bay Packer coach, right? who always said, what? Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. But if we're going to win and we want to survive and we want to beat our competitors, it doesn't matter if we're playing football or if we're running a business. How do we win? How do we beat our competitors? How do we attract better clients? We do the little things better. And the main little thing, which is the absolute biggest thing we can do to help ourselves, is to understand our cost. Hey, Doug, glad you made it with us, man, up here in Pennsylvania. Hope your ice storm wasn't too bad. Hope y'all made a little money out there. Thanks for texting me and let me know you get in with us here on Profit Time. We're talking about not quitting too soon. Not quitting too soon. Don't give up yet. I'm not saying at some point in time it's not time to throw the towel in. I'm just saying make sure if you really want to be a business owner and you want to run a business and you want to be successful at what you're doing, there's some simple methodologies that we can put in place. And the first one is knowing your cost. Let's implement it into a service agreement, as Mike says, in his text. That's going to solve a lot of your problems because it's going to help you control your cash flow. Doug says they've been out salting since 1 a.m. up there. Absolutely. 1/4 inch of ice. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Hey, dealing with a 1/4 inch of ice is kind of like dealing with a problem within your business. Hey, but we're all good with dealing with snow and ice and tall grass and funguses in yards and broadleaf weeds because that's our comfort zone, right? I always say it, we're great at working hard from a business perspective. We're great at mowing lawns. We're great at planting bushes. We're great at putting landscape lighting in. We're great at all the stuff about that side of the business. Let's just all make a goal. Let's all say this is what we're going to do. Let's make a plan to implement business methodologies starting today. If you had one chance, one opportunity, and you do, you've got the chance, you've got the opportunity to do it different, than the way you did it the day before. Because our truth bomb says, don't quit, man. You don't have to quit. Let's just do something different and better than the way we were doing it before and try that. That's the challenge. Let's try that. The mindset is you're going to lose all your customers, right? Right before we went to that break, we were talking about that. Man, I'm going to lose all my customers. You're not going to lose all your customers just because you have a price increase. The first thing you got to do is know what the price needs to be. And from personal experience, I can tell you that once you determine what you need to charge, it becomes a lot easier to sell at a different rate. Now, I can hear some of you guys out there thinking, yeah, Wayne, but man, hard times are coming and, people are going to be looking for a cheaper price. They're only going to be looking for a cheaper price if you guys offer it. It's like Rick Knapp, the owner of Scotty's Lawn Equipment, said down there in Evansville the other day, we got to stop beating each other's heads. We got to stop beating each other up. The only person that's winning, and he's exactly right about this, the only person that wins in that beat me up on price scenario is the customer. Because the product going out is very, very similar. I'm not going to say it's the same because some of us are better, at what we do than others. But it's a similar product being distributed. But what you got to do is get rid of that Walmart mentality that says, I'll meet or beat anybody's price because I need the work. You've got to change that mindset. Calculate your costs, know what the price has to be, and then you put your efforts into, number one, first converting your regular customers to the right price, and some of your customers are going to be okay. Maybe a lot of them are okay. But what you'll find out is who's not okay. And the ones that aren't okay, you're going to address them and say, hey, I need a little more money. And you know what most of those people are going to say? I guarantee you, most of those people are going to say, okay. I had a guy in my office yesterday, and I'm going to call him out. He listens to me, and I asked him to be on my show today, and he wouldn't do it. He said, no, I don't want to do that, man. I'll mess up. How do you mess up when you're talking to people about something you're great at? Come on, man. But he said, you know, he was over here, and he was sharing an experience where he had reached out to his customers and told them about the price increase that were coming this year. And he said, my God, Wayne, he said, I was surprised it happened, you know, like you talk about. Most of them said, okay. I said, I want you to do me a favor, David. He said, what's that? I said, I want you to stand up a minute, because he was sitting at one of our desks. I said, I want you to stand up. And you guys that want to play along with this, you guys can stand up as long as you ain't driving. Okay? Just play along if you're at home. This is one of those play along at games if you're at home. And I know nobody's going to know if you're playing, but if you are, it'll be fun. Trust me. I want you to stand up. All right. You're standing up. Now I want you to take your right leg. If your right leg works okay, if your right, it doesn't matter. If your right leg doesn't work good, use your left leg. But take a leg and now kick yourself in the butt with your heel. Take your heel and try to kick yourself in the butt. Do that about 3-4 times. Go ahead and try. Kick yourself in the butt. There you go. I had David do that yesterday, and he says, what the hell are you doing? I said, that's you kicking yourself in the butt for leaving that money out there on the table for all these years and not asking for it from your customers. That's the reality of it. Yes, Ben, it was. That's exactly who it was. Because, and the only reason I share that story with you about David is because I did that to myself. I was scared to change pricing, not just this year, any year. You know, I'm not scared anymore. I don't like to do it, but I do it because I know I got to do it. Because what I don't want to do is make less than I made last year. That's the reality of that. But the other reality is, how much are we leaving out there on the table just because we don't ask? And then when we finally get the courage to ask, most of our customers say yes, and the ones that say no, that aren't going to pay your price increase, what are they really doing for you? Somebody shoot me a text and let me know what they're really doing for you when they fire you. 502-550-8307. 502-550-8307. What's a customer doing for you when they fire you because they're not paying enough? What are they really doing? I hear you. Somebody shoot me a text. Come on, I've only got one. I know. Put your thinking caps on. Put your thinking caps on, because the reality of it is we're leaving way too much money out there on the table. And as I'm waiting for a few of you guys to text me, we're going to take a short break. Turf Time is 10:49 a.m. here on Profit Time, Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station. We'll be right back.
Get ready for another great Turf's Up Radio Live coverage event. All day Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. That's right, you guessed it. Spring Fling 2022 is here, and better than ever. It's the nation's largest and best distributor-driven selling trade show event in the country. Set your calendar now to listen to Turf's Up Radio as our crew brings you live coverage with interviews from showgoers and vendors like Rainbird, Belgard Hardscapes, Hunter Effects, Nibco Inc., Hydra Point, and many more. Yep, another Turf's Up Radio live kick-ass event brought to you by CPS Distributors for all your outdoor solutions. That's all day Wednesday, March 9th, 2022, right here on Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station. Let the world know you need business with logoed gear from Gemplers. We'll add your logo for free on your orders of 6 or more. Build your brand on a small business budget so your crew looks sharp and your client gifts make an impact. Gemplers has the brands you love and some you should, like Carhartt, Columbia, and Under Armour. plus Yeti and Stanley Drinkware and more. Add your logo free. Tell the world you're legit with help from family-owned and independent Gemplers. We know what it's like to be a business on the grow. We get you the right products at the right value and ship it quick right to your door. Shop Gemplers.com. That's GEMPLERS.com.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It didn't take but 2 short ads to get 8 or 9 of you guys texting me in. I appreciate that. Every one of you guys are right. Your customers are doing you a favor. They're doing you a favor when they fire you. Send them a thank you note. I joke about that all the time. Say, man, we need to send them a thank you note for firing us because they freed up time for a better customer. That's what they did. Now, I know you don't like to think about replacing customers. I don't like to think about it, but the reality of it is attrition alone accounts for the need to replace customers. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to replace some customers. So if we're going to have to replace some, we might as well replace them with somebody that's willing to pay, as Jesse says here, find somebody that's willing to pay for what your time's worth. You know, because Doug's point, man, you can stay home and stay broke. You know, at least if you're not out there with your skid steer, digging and grading and doing everything we do with skid steers or your landscape stuff, you know, or your lawnmowers or your spray tanks, at least if we're not out there doing it for free, we're not wearing our equipment out. We may not be making any money, but at least we're not wearing our equipment out. Hell, stay home for free. You know, stay home and watch cartoons. Stay home and be a junk food junkie or something. But don't wear your equipment out. Work hard. Lose all your family time. Lose all your free time and not make any money. That's why we throw the towel in. But if you don't want to throw the towel in, if you want to give it one more shot, man, take the chance, take the opportunity, calculate your cost per hour, know what your minimum has to be, and when you set that minimum, you stick to it. Don't just send out a price increase based on a guess number that you had last year or 5 years in a row. Figure out what it cost. Send those out. Lose a few customers. But what I'm going to tell you, history says you're not going to lose that many. And that's just not with Wayne's Lawn Service. I've worked with a lot of different contractors over the course of, since 1990. How long is that? 30 years? 32 years? And you're going to lose a few. But that few percentage that you lose versus what you keep priced at the right rate, even if you don't replace any of them, you're going to make more money and do less work. And have the hours available within your schedule to sell to a better client. So instead of being poor, write that word down, right? Poor. We talked about it earlier. And I want you to put that on your desk. I want you to put that wherever it is you write those proposals up, wherever you write your estimates up. Put poor on a little jotter block thing and put it on your laptop or your desktop. Passing over opportunities regularly. You don't have to do it. You do it because it's a choice. And maybe something else you can think about doing to help your company not only survive, but thrive in a down economy. Because we've had several of them in my 43 years. I remember interest rates at 19% back in the early 80s. We talked about that a little while back here on Profit Time. But, hey, there's bad times, there's good times. There's going to be a lot of companies that fall out this year. And it's not because you're not a good person. It's not because you're not running a good company. It's simply because you don't know what you don't know, and you're not willing to look at what the real problem is in most cases. And to Mike's point, it's two things. The first one is knowing why you charge what you charge, But the second is implementing a cash flow management tool for your company called a service agreement. Yeah, you can be very successful guessing at pricing, and you can be very successful not utilizing a service agreement. But you know what? Why gamble? Why take the chance when you're talking about the success of your business, the profitability of your business? Because, you know, it's not just you counting on it. Obviously, it's important to you. It's important to your family. It's important that your business is successful. It's important to your employees that your business is successful. Whether you got 1 or 1 million, they're all counting on it. And it's also important to your clients. But a lot of times what we got to do is look at the clients that we're servicing. Let's see, got a good text here. Let me read it here real quick. It's going to sound like dead air time, but he said, here's a great example of why you need to let bad, cheap customers go. He said he was talking to a handyman. He got hired to stain a woman's porch. He let her buy the stain. Oh, God, I can just imagine where this is going, right? So she only had to pay for the labor. Turns out she brought the cheapest product she could find. The job turned out poorly because of an inferior product, and now he's stuck with somebody that's angry and blasted him on social media. All because he agreed to do the job cheaply. Didn't want to lose out on the business. Absolutely, Craig. That's it. That's true. It's a true point right there. You know, don't let the customer run your business. Too many times our customers are the ones driving the bus. But our customers drive the bus for a little while, and then guess what happens? The bus breaks down and we quit. We're like those guys on social media that I was reading the other day, and I am not making fun of them. I am not calling them out because I feel sorry for somebody that finally throws the towel in and says, man, I just can't do it. Before you say you can't do it, ask yourself, is it really I can't do it, or I won't make the necessary changes to do it? Is it because you can't do it, or you won't make the changes to do it? And you know what? You're the only person that can answer that question. You're the only person that can answer that question. You know, there's always going to be customers that don't want to pay. You know, how many, you look at it, I don't know, a lot of you guys do construction and landscape type work. You know, how many calls don't you get? You go out and you bid a landscape job for somebody, and, let's just say it's something simple, $3,000 to $5,000 job. Something that's really not getting into a lot of money, and they're like, oh my God, I had no idea. I mean, we'll talk about vetting your customers a little better on another show because we're up here on the end of it right now, profit time. But the reality of it is, a lot of people, they don't have any idea what something really costs, because us as an industry, me and you and the next guy and the next girl and the next owner, whatever, who's put that artificial number out there? It's not the consumer. It's us as the business owners. We're the one that have put that artificial number of what the industry standard is out there because we get into it. It's easy to get in. We don't know what we don't know. And we think, I'm small, I can do it cheaper. It's exactly backwards. The reality of it is, you got to take the time to go through the pain of change. And what is that pain of change? The pain of change is sometimes just taking you a drink of water like this, wetting your lips, take a big deep breath, and say, you know what? I've got one chance. I've got one opportunity. I'm going to make a change. And until you go through the pain of change, you're going to get the same result. And remember, people don't change until the pain of change is less than the pain of staying the same. Take a short break. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of working dawn to dusk 7 days a week and still struggling? Working hard isn't your issue. What you need to focus on is the business side of your business. That's where Profits Unlimited comes in. With our 42 years of experience in the industry, we have faced the challenges you are going through. We can help you with bidding, contracts, marketing, selling, and much more. Check us out at profitsrus.com. That's profitsareus.com when you are ready to earn what you deserve. And don't forget, tune into Profit Time at 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Remember, profit is not a dirty word.
This is Lou Blacksail from Liars of Ur, and you are listening to Turfs Up Radio. TurfsUpRadio.com, baby. Wow.
That's right, TurfsUpRadio.com. You know, as we end our show, Profit Time today, I just want to tell each and every one of you guys, thank you. I appreciate you listening to me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Know that you can go to where you like to download your podcast. Get all of our shows. They're on Profit Time and Profits Unlimited. They're both there for you. And we just want to help your company be more successful, more profitable. Just one little thing at a time. So as we wrap up our Truth Bomb for today on Friday, just remember, it doesn't have to be we're going to throw in the towel. Give yourself one more chance to do it a different and better way. And if you're looking for help with that, certainly Profits Unlimited's willing to help you with that. But maybe you don't need our help too. Maybe it's a mindset change that you got to do yourself. Because until you decide you want to do things differently and more profitably and more efficiently, it goes back to that old saying, if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. Make the change. Make that change. Let your company, let your family be more successful, be more profitable, and never apologize for the price. We'll say that one more time before we wrap it up. Never apologize for the price. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. Appreciate you listening to Profit Time. We'll see you Monday. Sorry we didn't get to our story of the day. Aaron and his impetus provided. We'll talk about it Monday. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Weekend Review at 9 a.m. And remember, profit is not a dirty word. Be sure to listen to my buddy Hecapus at 8.